A man was shivering in the -30-degree cold. Strangely enough, instead of putting on warm clothes, he took off his only jacket, then he removed his pants, and finally, his underwear, until there was not a single piece of clothing left on his body. He crouched in a corner, trembling. The fierce, icy wind distorted his face, but he had no thought of wearing clothes. He was trying to keep himself warm with the hot breath coming out of his mouth, but in such cold, it was insufficient. His heavy breathing and chattering teeth indicated he was reaching the limits of human endurance. Suddenly, he made a mad decision. He focused his vision on his situation. After an intense mental struggle, he threw away the flour in the plastic bag. As an addict, he knew how difficult this decision was. He had no time to hesitate. He filled the bag with snow and held it to his chest, hoping it would melt. He had staked everything on the hope of drinking the melted snow. His eyes sparkled with the hope of survival, but the temperature continued to drop. Night fell, and his wet clothes remained damp. He was filled with despair and anger. But they say when God closes a door, he opens a window. He saw a light burning at the top of the snow-covered mountain. Seeing this, his spirit soared again, and he forgot he was standing naked in the cold, shouting in joy. After a while, when he calmed down, he felt the chill again, but the hope of the light filled him with energy. He put on his wet clothes and started cutting the large trees around him with renewed vigor. He placed the dry wood in a pit and then fell asleep, looking at the light. As soon as morning came, he drank the water from the melted snow. This was his third day stranded in the icy mountains. He checked his phone and radio and then began to climb towards the peak. After walking a short distance, hunger overwhelmed him and his vision blurred. But his strong will to live pushed him forward step by step. Suddenly, his legs gave way and he fell. As he struggled to get up, he felt pain in his leg. When he rolled up his pant leg, he found his blood had frozen. Due to the lack of resources, he couldn't pay much attention to his injured leg. He knew he had to reach the place with the light before losing too much blood. Finally, exhausted, he reached halfway up the mountain. But when he looked up, he was stunned. The light was gone. He rubbed his eyes in disbelief, but the peak was bare. He realized he had been hallucinating the night before. He cursed his luck, but didn't give up. He knew that the hope of life lay only in moving forward. Retreating meant death. Once again, he began to climb towards the peak, fighting his fatigue. The pain in his leg forced him to stop repeatedly, but he continued to move forward little by little. His steps slowed, but his hope and will to live never diminished. He realized that only through struggle could he find the path to life. Like this post for the next part to come soon, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see the next part.